Amy. We were talking with Ed Henry last hour about Hillary's inability to contain the stink from WikiLeaks. Also, the new revelations about her rather extravagant spending at the State Department, like $5 million on crystal stemware and $630,000 to increase Facebook likes for the State Department, because the State Department is mostly a PR effort.
Yeah, but $500,000 plus to increase your profile on Facebook? Seems like a waste of taxpayer money.
$79,000 to buy up President Obama's books, funnel some royalties to him for retirement. And I'll tell you, all of this in addition to the donation from Terry McAuliffe to the wife of a FBI deputy director, Terry McAuliffe, who Ed Henry pointed out, reminded us, also under federal investigation. Of course, he's part of Clinton's inner circle. If you're part of her inner circle, you're going to be under federal investigation. It just doesn't seem it's going to go anywhere. That's the curious thing. Ron Fournier, who's been covering the Clintons since their days in Arkansas, who has had the single best question of this election cycle, in my opinion. I wish somebody would have asked it on his behalf. What do you think, to Hillary Clinton, the question should be asked, what do you think young Hillary Clinton, who is on that Watergate committee, would say about today's Hillary Clinton? I would love to hear the answer to that, particularly non-telegraphed, so she didn't see it coming. But Fournier was on to address all of what WikiLeaks has, all the blanks WikiLeaks has filled in terms of kind of what we presume to be true. But now we've got more evidentiary support. And Fournier had this to say.
When the scandal first broke in early 2015, and it was based on a person very close to the Clintons, who I'd known for a long time, who worked for the Clintons for a long time, who was saying, getting to the motive of why she had this secret server. And it was because of the circle of enrichment, the phrase that the Washington Post pulled up today, that was clear even then. There was already some connections between Doug Band and shaking down donors at the time. And this person was saying this is really about the foundation.
Well, it's really about the foundation and enriching themselves by leveraging everything that they have access to in our government. And that, I suppose, is at least part of Trump's closing argument, in addition to representing a positive vision for the United States, I would encourage. And for more on what the last 10 days will hold, we're pleased to be joined again by our friend Bret Baier, of course, host of Fox News Special Report, 5 p.m. Chicago time, Monday to Friday, and Sundays at 7 through the election. Also, 1 hour special this weekend that Bret Baier is anchoring tomorrow, Saturday, at 7 p.m. Chicago time. How We Fight, America's Election HQ, How We Fight, anchored by Bret Baier. The program will take an extensive look at the United States military, the threats that have emerged over the past 8 years, as well as the military rules of engagement. And it's going to feature exclusive interviews with a number of current and former intelligence officers, including secretaries of defense and Navy secretaries and generals. Bret Baier, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
So where do you sense the race is with 10 days to go? We were talking to your colleague, Ed Henry, and, the reports, and Fox News has reported the race kind of tightening. It seems like the Billy Bush tape kill shot, it's certainly injured, but he's not dead yet.
No, he's not dead yet. Definitely not. And, I think that it's telling that the Clinton campaign is traveling to Michigan. They shouldn't be in Michigan at this point, 10 days out. That should be a slam dunk, and they're not. They're spending some time in Pennsylvania. Why? I don't think it's to run up the score. I do think that those places are tightening. Colorado, another one that is tightening. Now, on the flip side, you have Mike Pence and Donald Trump going to Utah and Arizona to shore up those states, and that's not usual either. Georgia and Texas are tight, according to the polls. I think those red states will come home in single digits, maybe not what they're used to, Republicans winning by. But the real question is, can Donald Trump pick up the states he needs, Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, and maybe one other, Nevada, someplace else.
And both candidates today are going back to where it all began, and that's the state of Iowa. Hillary Clinton's going to be there with the president of Planned Parenthood and some others, and then Donald Trump's going to be there as well. Why is Iowa still at play?
It is. It's very much in play. It's tied, according to the latest polls out of there. I think Quinnipiac had it 44-44. And, it's only 6 electoral votes, but it is crucial. It's about the math. And she's in now a blocking mode to prevent him from getting those states. She has many more paths to 270, but he is, he needs all of those states, including New Hampshire, which is only 4 electoral votes. He's going to Maine to fight for that one congressional district,
right,
which is 1 electoral vote. So you see how this map kind of comes together.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. There's a piece in The Hill about this. You're kind of describing the same thing they did. They with respect to the conversation about this being a done deal and this is a blowout, actually they say, well, there's a very plausible path for Trump to 265 electoral votes.
Right.
But it's it's getting from 265 to 270 that seems to be the real trouble, because New Hampshire, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, one of those essentially has to fall in his column.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. He gets New Hampshire. He's at 269. Now he needs that one main electoral vote to get him to 270.
Yeah.
And that's why they're there. That's why they're doing that, because they look at the math, and that's what it comes down to. And it's plausible. I think that it still favors Hillary Clinton. I know a lot of people out there, especially Trump supporters, believe there is this hidden Trump vote. I just caution that the average of polls historically has just been off about 1 or 2 points max by the time we get to Election Day.
Do you think?
And that's it's a big deal.
Yeah, and Election Day, 11 days away now? Do you think Donald Trump is going to continue saying that the system is rigged up until Election Day, or do you think he might stand down a little bit?
I bet he gets more to script. I'm sure that's going to fall into some of his talking points. I'm going to talk to him this morning. I'm up in New York, and I'm going to sit down with Mr. Trump and Governor Pence together. We'll air a separate part with Mr. Trump today. And I'll, it'll be my final interview before Election Day. But he hasn't been on our show since June, so looking forward to asking him some questions.
Well, that'll be interesting. That'll be worth watching, checking out as well. Talking about over the weekend and Monday, and kind of going down ballot, because that's a big part of the conversation too. The Senate and the House. From your observations, where do you feel like those are with the same 10 days to go?
I think the House is they may lose seats, may get down to single digits, but I don't think that there's a risk at this point. We don't see the wave for Democrats to take control of the House. The Senate is different. I think it really does hang in the balance, and each one of those races is running on its own. I was just in New Hampshire. That's an extremely tight race with Senator Kelly Ayotte trying to hold on there. The Democrat Governor Maggie Hassan is challenging and essentially tied in that race. I think Nevada is a tied race with Joe Heck and
Wisconsin.
Cortez Masto. Yeah, and I think that you're going to see these races really get down to the wire, and probably 1 or 2 seats are going to make the difference in control of the U.S. Senate.
And it's really, unbalanced when you think about the Democrats and the surrogates. Their bench is deep. You've got Michelle Obama, Barack Obama. They're going to be out campaigning pretty much almost every day up until the election. They've got Joe Biden. Their bench is deep compared to the Republicans, because it's just Donald, Mike Pence, and who else? Is there anybody else that they have?
Well, they send out Rudy. They send out the children. They send out Chris Christie and maybe Newt Gingrich, too.
Yeah, and with respect to the close, the argument you think Trump is likely to make, or is it going to be, and I guess you'll find out this morning, a little bit of a ham and egg where Trump continues to try and stoke the revolt and Mike Pence kind of presents the positive go-forward vision?
Yeah, I think it'll be a mix. I do think that the main message of change and being the change agent, and you're starting to hear him say, "Aren't we tired of the Clintons?" And the fact that Hillary Clinton is supposedly looking at Joe Biden as Secretary of State, that brings up. That's not like turning a page of freshness, and so I think. I think they're going to hit that hard, and we are the elements of change.
And what did you make of Trump this week in Charlotte, this North Carolina he needs? And he could have made a direct appeal to a lot of different component parts of the constituency in constituency in play in North Carolina. And he chose to make the appeal to black families with this New Deal for black families, the 3 parts of a New Deal that he proposed. Well, how did you interpret that choice?
Well, he was trying to make some headway into the traditional Obama coalition. And, he's trying to do that, and he's trying to visit some different communities and make that play. It's not really, I don't think, for the African-American vote. I mean, he's only at 5, 6, 7%, depending on the poll nationwide on that number. But if he could tick it up a couple points, it takes away from her. But more importantly, excuse me, it affects independents who say, no, this guy's not racist or bigoted. He's trying hard. And that, with suburban moms, that makes a difference.
Yeah, I think that's right. All right, he's Bret Baier, host of Special Report, 5 p.m. weekdays, 7 p.m. on Sunday night. And this Saturday again, tomorrow, the special, 7 p.m., Americans Election HQ, How We Fight. Bret Baier anchors a program that looks at the U.S. military and the rules of engagement, the threats over the past 8 years, exclusive interviews from a lot of current and former intelligence officers, secretaries of defense, generals, and the like. Bret, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
All right. Go Cubs.
There you go.
Cubs. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.